Picture this. In 2004, we could focus on one task for about 2.5 minutes. Now, that's down to 47 seconds before a ping or alert shifts our focus away. And here's the killer. After any distraction, it takes on average about 23 minutes to regain full focus. And in day trading, those lost chunks of time are not just anything, they're your edge slipping away from you. And that's why mastering deep work is a game changer and, frankly, a secret weapon for staying sharp and profitable. We mentioned last week about deep work, and we wanted to do a full episode on it because this really is a game changer when you're talking about keeping your profit and keeping your edge. We live in a crazy distracted world right now. I know this more than anybody. Social media just rips your attention away every 30 seconds. And if you're trying to day trade, if you want to be one of the people who make it, who are profitable, you have to cut out distraction and you have to regain that focus. And Jordan, you and I have talked about this maybe briefly, but not in this specific context. When you're talking about there's a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport that kind of put me onto this. And so I wanted to chat about this in general with you, Jordan, and hopefully our viewers find this a little bit useful because, frankly, the world we live in, if you can be one of the ones who isn't distracted, if you can be one of the ones who can put aside chunks of time where you can really deeply focus on a task, especially a task that is cognitively um, complicated, that takes serious brain power to do and to function correctly, if you can put focus time on it, you're going to be one of the special ones. You're going to be the exception and be able to actually succeed. Jordan, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Yeah, I mean, you bring up something that honestly is something that I've been probably subconsciously working on myself. I just recently with New Year's, we have New Year's resolutions and everything, and I've bricked my phone because I got tired of all the distractions of my phone and social media, as you said. So my phone now is bricked. I don't have games. I don't have YouTube. I don't have social media. Really, it helps. It's been my screen time has gone down dramatically, and I've gained back about 4 hours a day. Now, what do I do with those 4 hours a day? Well, trying to put that back into work and kids and everything else. But yeah, it's the amount of distractions that are in our lives and how those distractions affect us, especially once I bricked my phone and saw that my usage went down by 4 hours a day. That was astounding to me. And so, yeah, really excited to hear a little bit more about the principle that from this book you've written. I've read a few business things, of course, about this, about having blocks of time that are uninterrupted in order to maintain focus. But I've never read this book, so I'm interested to hear a little bit more about the premise. And 43 seconds, wow. I mean, being someone who's ADD, even 43 seconds sounds super short, even to me.
Yeah. It is. It seems short until you pay attention, and then for me, this is my kryptonite, and it's something that I just have to gain. Uh, I have to beat because. So first of all, understand this. It's not when you're talking about, like, I think a lot of people don't like the idea of, like, breaking your phone or putting on screen time limitations and stuff like that, because it seems like, well, look, I don't want to be weak or seem like I'm like, I, you know, like what am I, a child? I can just not do it, right? I'll just decide not to spend less time on Twitter or spend less time on whatever. But the reason you're going to need to do that is because these things are designed with your brain in mind. They are biohacking. Like, they were designed. These algorithms were designed from the bottom up to hijack your brain. That's how they work. It's why you'll scroll on Instagram, close the app, and then reopen it. That's not normal human behavior, right? That's not normal. That's crazy stuff. But it's not because you're stupid. Well, It's because the brain that worked really well in a cave was not meant to be holding, all the knowledge of the universe in your hand and then have that knowledge of the universe fed to you in specific ways that feed these systems in your brain that were meant to be like, oh, a berry.
Right.
Oh, that makes me happy. Like that brain is the same brain that is now being fed algorithmically stuff that is hijacking your brain. So you have to put limits on it. I mean, you can't trust your brain. Your brain is being hijacked, quite literally. It was designed that way. So anyway, the book by Cal Newport, it's fantastic, but it says some really shocking stuff, and I mentioned a couple of those in um in the intro, and this was the kind of the big one that surprised me was less the amount of time that we can spend on screens and tasks. It's now like down to like 47 seconds or something like that. I mean, it's still it's shocking, but the amount of time that it takes to regain focus is the scary one. Because if the amount of time it takes to regain focus is significantly more than the time that you can spend on a task, it means you're never actually truly focused, ever. If you switch tasks or switch screens or switch between emails or switch between every 47 seconds and it takes 23 minutes to regain focus, you're never ever truly focused. You're working at 20% of your potential. I mean, literally all the time. You're never actually truly focused. Um you're never truly thinking through a problem deeply. If you're day trading, you're never at the top of your game ever. These really intensive tasks, and we're not talking about shallow work. He makes a distinction in this book about deep work and shallow work. And shallow work are things that don't take focus. They don't take a lot of focus. Emails, scrolling on your phone, like shooting a text, right? You can do these things distracted because they're not deep. They don't take they don't take any brain power. They don't take a lot of, but there are tasks. And the reason I brought this up was because day trading is one of those tasks. It it is a highly demanding job that takes a brain that is incredibly focused. You have to be making constant adjustments, risk assessments. You have to be not afraid. You have to be not greedy. You have to be locked in, is the right term for it. You have to be locked the heck in. And if you're distracted, you're going to be hurting yourself. And Jordan, you kind of gave me talking to you recently in the last 6 months has helped me considerably because you talked about putting a time like you putting aside time that was focused, and you'd been distracted last year, and I kind of gave you that advice. And then you kind of took that and ran with it and put aside like really focused time that's helped you significantly. I mean, you've been killing it lately. And that's something that it had a direct impact, like A/B test, a direct impact on your trading.
Oh, for sure. Distraction. I like what you said. Like some people are afraid to do things because they're like, well, I might become weak, or blah blah blah. Well, guess what? The people who are actually successful in life are the people who are willing to do the hard things. Right? You look at anyone who's successful, and they've all had to make decisions that most of us, the uber successful people, have all made decisions that most of us would consider crazy, right? I mean, you look at Steve Jobs, you look at Bill Gates, you look at Jeff Bezos. No matter what you may think of them as people, you look at Elon Musk. No matter what you may think of them as people, the fact is, the reason they are where they are is because they were willing to do what no one else is willing to do in order to get there. I mean, Elon Musk sleeping under his desk for literally months at a time and putting in 100-hour weeks, like, that's not normal, right? But it's because he's not normal that he's the richest man in the world. And I think the same thing is applicable now. If you're willing to do something that most people aren't willing to do, for instance, cut out your phone, move your phone to brick mode, move to a flip phone. guess what? You are now ahead of 99% of the people in the world. And guess what? When you're ahead of 99% of the people, that means you're in the 1%, and the 1% are the people who can accomplish anything. So I think that that is a really powerful thing to remember, that if you start doing things that no one else is doing, you're probably on the right track, at least if you're doing good things, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. And frankly, this is one of the reasons why we made this podcast, because we think there's a lot of things that you can do to help your trading that no one else is doing. And we've talked a lot about a lot of those on our podcast. But yeah, when it comes to when we live in a crazy, distracted world, it doesn't take that much to be ahead of most everybody else. As long as, like you said, you're willing to do things that people aren't willing to do. So in America, most people aren't fit. Well, it's it's if you want to be fitter than 95% of people, it actually doesn't take too much effort. If you want to be less fat than most people in the US, it doesn't take too much effort. Of course, it takes effort, it takes hard work, but it doesn't take as much as if you wanted to be fitter than, or less fat than, 95% of people back in the 70s or in the 60s. Um, that would take some serious work. Now it's much less. The bar has been lowered. And so there's some caveats to that, of course, when it comes to like day trading or stuff like that. But when it comes to stuff like focus, man, focus matters, because focus, we talk about needing flow, needing like a flow state when you're day trading, because it's a feel based game. And if you're not in flow, you're not going to be as good, period. And it's just going to kill your edge. And if you can be one of those people who can maintain a flow state, I have a Spotify playlist, a lo-fi playlist that I have on our spot link to our Spotify profile. You can go check it out, and I play that and play kind of lo-fi, just soft music in the background. I take probably 10 to 15 minutes before I actually start trading, and then trade for, just a little bit, fully focused, phone off, screen off. And if you can do that, if you can be one of those people who can maintain a flow state, man, it is a superpower, man. It's a superpower. And if you're getting distracted, you're not going to be able to reach that. And again, it takes 15, 20, 25 minutes to regain that flow. And if you can't maintain focus, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, be willing to do the things that no one else is doing. Maintain that focus. If that means bricking your phone, do it. And another thing that you can do that puts you probably above the rest is just being accountable on a daily basis. So we did start that Discord server. It's just getting off the ground. We've only got 5 or 6 people in there right now. So we do have a Discord server. It's only for posting your trade journal. Yeah, if you might be, if you're looking for something that'll give you an edge, just accountability on a daily basis, feel free to join our Discord server. The link is in the description. If you are having some issue, we've run some issues. It's my first time making a Discord server. Drop us an email. We'll get it figured out. But or just drop us a direct message on Discord, and we'll get you in. Yeah, and just remember that, guys, cut out those distractions, and it will put you miles above, and will put you in the 1% of people and the 1% of traders, and hopefully, in the long run, make you a successful, profitable trader.